I want to welcome a guest on the show right now. I got Lance Caddell. Oops, I better turn your mic on there, Lance. I got Lance Caddell from Caddell Electric. And Lance, welcome to Texas Home Improvement.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Now, electricity is one of those things. We all have it in our house. We all take it for granted until the darn thing doesn't work, and then we're upset. Why'd this thing break? It's only 60 years old, and it should have lasted forever, right?
That's exactly right. Everyone seems to just take it for granted.
Now, and one of the issues, and I jest about that, but it is true. We do take it for granted that the electricity is going to work. And I know a lot of people get concerned with some of the wiring, the breaker boxes, and how to change out plugs and stuff like that. So one of the first things I want to talk to you about and is breaker panels. There was some breaker panels that were installed probably, I guess, 30 years ago now. You can't get breakers for them anymore. And people consider them dangerous panels to a degree.
That's correct. You can find information that goes both ways, but I think that the consensus across our industry is that those panels are dangerous and that they should be addressed. At the very least, they should be checked by a qualified electrician.
And what a lot of people are finding, when you do address it, a lot of people should be addressing whether they have that type of panel or not, because we've been changing what we have in our houses. I mean, if you go back 30, 40, 50 years ago, we didn't have computers. We didn't have big screen TVs. We didn't have all this electronic stuff that we're putting in our houses now. A lot of times our breaker panels really weren't put in to handle what we're doing with them.
That's right. We just didn't design electrical services to handle the electrical system in the house to handle all the computers and flat screens and what have you that we have right now.
And I know in my own house, I updated the panel 10 years ago. Oh, well, 11 years ago now. Dang it, time keeps flying on me. But we had a problem out in our neighborhood a few weeks ago. A circuit blew, and I had installed a tankless water heater in my house, electric tankless water heater.
Oh boy!
And I went into the bathroom to wash my hands. I turned on the faucet. Everything blew, and I thought, oh shoot, I just blew the circuit in the house. Fortunately, everybody else's power was out as well, and it ended up being a transformer had blown in the neighborhood, but it was caused by a line in the ground that serviced our area, had a nick or something in it and shorted out, so it blew the whole neighborhood out for about 8 hours that day. Fun day. Fortunately, it wasn't one of these ice cold days, but it brings to light. You can't mess around. I mean, it's got to be done right, or you're looking at problems down the road.
That's correct. I think that our codes have changed so much over the last 30 years that there's a whole just list of items that older homes don't have in them. And we always recommend you do what you can to bring up the older houses to current electrical codes just for the safety reasons. And
grounds is a big one.
Grounding is a big one. We do install secondary grounding systems in a lot of existing homes, older ones in particular.
How about aluminum wiring? Now, I know a lot of people get scared of aluminum wiring. I personally have aluminum wiring in my house, and I tell people, as long as you make sure you're using the right fixtures or receptacles for aluminum, and you make sure that everything is done right, it's not an issue. It's when you don't check it, it becomes an issue.
That's right. If you have aluminum wiring, you really need to regularly, with any electrical system, you need to regularly have it inspected. But aluminum in particular, the problem is not in the wire in the house, in the walls. The problem is at the connection points of that wire, where it makes connections to the receptacles. That's where the fire hazard is. And if that has not been addressed at some point in the past, then you do need to get that taken care of and get it checked.
Now, you say check your wiring on a regular basis. What is that interval?
Well, we like to say every 2 to 3 years. You do want an electrician to come in. If you can imagine, there's hundreds of mechanical connections that are in your electrical system in your house. That is basically a screw that tightens down on a wire. And over time, those screws become loose, just like they do in anything else that you may have. Those connections become loose, and that's where fire hazards occur.
Right.
And that's where the taking the electrical system for granted
Yep.
comes in is people just don't think that it's necessary to look into these things. When we do a service call, as a matter of fact, we do a free safety inspection. And one of those things we do is we open the electrical panel and we check for loose connections. And that's what we're trying to do, is to kind of head those problems off at the pass.
Catch it before it becomes a problem.
Right.
And, and once you let your house catch on fire, it's a little bit late to be checking the
And it's
wiring.
too late then.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about like people who want to get light fixtures moved or new fixtures installed and things like that. You guys can take care of that as well.
We can do anything like that. We primarily do residential service work, and we can move fixtures for you. We can add can lights, add outlets. It's really nothing in your house that we can't take care of.
You know, one of the things, talking about can lights, one of the things I get a lot of questions about is can lights. The old ones, you had to have the insulation so far away, and I know a lot of the new ones are made where insulation can actually get up to them nowadays, if you have the right can light, and you guys can change all that stuff out for them.
Absolutely, that's called an IC rated can light. That's what you're talking about.
Okay, now if somebody's wanting to get their electric system checked or change out the can lights, or like in my case, have a tankless water heater put in, you got to get the electric taken care of for that as well. How can they get in touch with Caddell Electric?
You can call us at our phone number, 214-329-4567, or you can find our website at caddellelectric.com, and Caddell is spelled Caddell, so it's caddellelectric.com.
Now, I got this other phone number that you had given me that...
Myself? No.
No? You sure? Should I check with your wife? Because maybe she wants you to take the calls on the cell phone instead of
I'll
running
just give
through
her the
the
cell
office.
phone.
Oh, okay. Now, really, if you're needing to get your electric service taken care of, you need to get it checked out. And we talk about this often, especially if you got aluminum wiring. It needs to be checked on a regular basis. But whether you got aluminum or copper, it needs to be checked on a regular basis. Let's face it, most home fires start with the electric system. We think it starts with gas a lot of time, but it's not. It's something in the electric system that gets it going.
System.
And you got to have it checked out. Give Caddell Electric a call. Again, the number 214-329-4567. That's 214-329-4567. And you got a website?
It's caddellelectric.com, and Caddell is spelled Caddell, caddellelectric.com.
All right. Well, Lance, I appreciate you taking time to talk with me today.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Now,